Hello, fictional. Welcome to the Fiction Series X. Today we are gonna see what if Issei was in the 7 Deadly Sins Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Issei will not have a scared gear from the DXD, but will have all the powers and the weapons of the 7 Deadly Sin, includes the DNA of the non-humans. In a nice little town called Kuo we find a little boy about 5 years old with brown hair and eyes, is about to play in a park when a girl that is about his age, maybe a year or two older with long black hair and grey eyes, runs into him. The girl then looked up, then said in a slight panic tone, "I am so sorry," then run behind him. Just as two male got there and tried to grab the girl, but she didn't want to go with them as she seemed to be trying to get away, so he decided to help and get in the way, which surprised all three of them. The first male looked at the boy and said, "Hey kid, get out of the way or you will pay for interfering in our business, now scram." The kid said in a slight terror in his voice, "Not going to happen." The second male said, "Wrong choice kid," then gave him kick in the ribsage with so much force that he went into a wall, and the force broke his ribsage, and the rib pierced his heart and lungs. The last thing he saw before everything went dark was the girl still resisting the two men. Mindscape. The young boy woke up in a wide open field with all kinds of flowers. He looked around and saw a table with 7 people. One appeared to be floating on a pillow and was a boy, and one was many times bigger than the others and was a girl. So he decided to walk up them to find out where he was. As he got closer, he could tell that 4 of them was male, 2 was female, and the last one he couldn't tell the gender. Then one of the females who had black hair and gold eyes noticed him coming. Them said to the others, "Look who is here," and all of them turned and looked and saw the boy. One of the others got up who had blonde hair and green eyes, walked up to the kid and said, "Yo, how are you doing, Issei?" Issei looked at the blonde then asked in a scared tone, "How do you know me, where are we and who are you people?" "Well, first, where are we and how we know you is simple, as we are inside you, as this is called a mindscape. As for who are we are the 7 Deadly Sins, and my name is Meliodas," said Meliodas. "Okay, how am I here and you lot as well?" asked a confused Issei. "Well, you are here because you are on the verge of death as you tried to help the girl," Meliodas began to explain. Issei interrupted in a sad tone, "No man, I am going to die and I didn't get to protect that girl." "Calm yourself boy, you are not dead yet and time moves differently in here now," the black-haired lady said. "Oh, okay, how did you 7 get in my mindscape?" then asked Issei. "Well, for us to explain that you need to know our history, so sit down and we will explain," said Meliodas. "Merlin, if you please do the honors as you seem to know more." "Sure, I will captain," said the black-haired lady now known as Merlin, then turned to Issei. "Okay Issei, I would like to save the questions till I am done, okay?" "Okay, I will try my best," Issei said. But Merlin said then began to explain, "Okay, to begin you need to know that there are other universes than the one that everyone is born in, and we come from one of those universes. It is similar to this one, yet different. The universe we come from has 5 races. There are the human race, the fairy race, the giant race, the goddess race, and the demon race, and some of our weapons have magic we call sacred treasures. In our time there was 2 great war, and it was the demon race against the other 4 races. The first one ended in a stalemate as the demon's race was sealed away. Then 3,000 years later, when the seal was destroyed, the war restarted. In the end, we 7 sacrificed ourselves to separate the 5 races into separate realms, and the goddess races decided to send us into this universe. Now any questions?" "Okay," Issei said then asked in a confused tone, "What do you mean similar to this one?" "Well, for you to ask that then you have no idea that the myths and legends of this universe is real, but back in our universe, most people have some kind of magical power we call abilities," said a male with pale blue hair and red eyes. Issei said, "Sweet, so what happens?" "No. Well, we are going to become one with you and you will gain our power and weapons and the knowledge how to use our attacks. Also your DNA will chance as some of us are not human," explained Merlin. "So, you are the 7 Deadly Sins, but who and what are you?" Issei said. "Well, as you know, my name is Meliodas, my sin title was the Dragon Sin of Wrath, I am of the demon race. My sacred treasure was called Lost Vein, a short sword, and my abilities are full counter which send any magical power back at the caster at double strength when I am normal, and when I was my demon power, it becomes helpless. It is a black fire of the demon race that cannot be put out until there is nothing left of the thing that you burn," Meliodas explained. Then the giant girl laid down, so she was more or less eye level, and said, "My name is Diane, the serpent sin of envy. My sacred treasure was called Gideon, a warhammer, and I am of the giant race, and my ability is creation which allow you to manipulate the earth." The male with the pale blue hair said, "Guess it is my turn. I am the fox sin of greed. Man was an immortal, but I gave that up to keep my beloved Elaine from death. The second time which you will have my sacred treasure was called Karak House, a 4-section staff eye, and my ability is snatch which allows you rob objects in an area. It also lets you rob the physical abilities like speed, stamina and raw strength." The flouting boy then said, "My name is Harlequin, but I go by King, the grisly sin of sloth, and I am of the fairy race. My sacred treasure was called Chastiful, a spear that can change shape." My ability is called Disaster. It gives us the power over life and death, as it can turn a scratch into a severe wound, mild poisons into lethal toxins, and a small tumor to rapidly spread. The one that he couldn't tell the gender came up and said, one of the 7 deadly sins. I am the goat sin of lust. My name is Gother. I am a doll. My sacred treasure was called Harem. A twin bow. My ability is invasion. It let you enter somebody's mind and you converse with their subconscious or can alter their memories. Now it is my turn. I am Merlin and am the boar sin of gluttony. I am what you would call a former human. My sacred treasure was called Alden Crystal Ball and my ability is infinity. It can stop time on anything as long as I wish, Merlin said. The last one, who had way too much muscle than humanly possible, walked up, then said with pride, greetings, I am one of the 7 deadly sins, the sin of pride, and my name is Lion Sin Eskener. The sacred treasure I use was called Rita, a battle axe adored by the sun, bearing the name of a maiden, and Sunshine is the name of my glorious magical power that will steadily increase and decrease depending time of day, and the power belonged to one of the archangels. Wait, so you are the reason why I have the 7 crimson animal birthmarks, Issei said. Yes, now that is done, we all know what to do, and Gother leave Meliodas to last, as he can take care of the 2 devils, and take Issei back home. That Issei is if it is okay with the boy, first Merlin explained. Yes, it is, but on woe conditions, Issei said. This got Meliodas' attention and said, and what would they be? Firstly, can you please take the girl with you when you go home? Gaining a nod from Meliodas, and the second is, I want you to explain everything to my mother, please, so she doesn't worry if the weapons just show up, Issei said. Consider it done, Meliodas said. Real world. It may have been hours in Issei's mind, but it had only been a couple of minutes. The eyelids of Issei opened. They weren't the usual brown, they were green, which indicated Meliodas was in control. He got and looked around to see the 2 devils still trying to get the girl to go with them. He then lunged himself at the devils and gave the one that kicked Issei a punch in the head and sent him flying. The other one saw and was about to attack, but Meliodas used his demon power to scare the devils away, which worked. Then he walked up to the girl and said, yo, please come with me, then started to walk to the Haidu residence. After a 15-minute walk in silence, the duo walked out the door and meet with Issei's mother, Mickey. Mickey saw Issei. She was about to ask how he was, but when she saw the eyes she asked, who are you and what have you done with my son? Meliodas said, mind if we have a seat, as it is a story. Mickey then led the 2 to the living room where Meliodas introduced himself, then explained everything from the meaning of the 7 crimson animal birthmark to what had happened at the park and how he was in control of the body under the 2 conditions and the weapons that he placed on the table. Then he got up and said, now I am going to bed, then let Gother finish of the transformation, then looked at Mickey before saying, one more thing, Issei will be out for a couple of days, so his body can get used to our power, so you might want to be with him with a cold press and to make sure he is okay. He then went upstairs to bed. Mickey then looked at the girl and asked, so who are you then? The girl then said, I am Office, and I and the Ouroboros dragon, the 2 men that was trying to get me, were devils, and they promised me they will help me if I gave them my power, but I had recently learned that they gave me an empty promise, so I took back my power and run, but they had found me, so I run, but I didn't get far as I run into your son, who tried and protected me, but that didn't go well the first time. Mickey, oh you poor little girl, do you mind if I asked what the promise was? Is I wish to reclaim my home, replied Office. And where is your home, Offices? Mickey asked. My home is the only place I have known. Silence. That is the void, Office replied. Oh dear, that sounds lonely. How about you stay with us, as a home is never where you was born, but where the heart is, as Mickey said, and then took 10 minutes trying to get Office to agree, then went upstairs and took care of Issei. Over the next few days, Mickey took care of her son with the help of Office. On the 5th day when Mickey went to check her son, he was sitting up in his bed and seeing as he was okay and told him everything that Office had told her. The next day Mickey sent Issei to school. Then when she got home she made plans so he know use his powers and how to protect himself, and there was only one place that trusted, so she went to the phone and rung someone. After it rings a couple of times, someone answered in an old voice, hello, how may I help you? Mickey, who was nervous, took a deep breath, then said, hello, my name is Mickey and I need your help. After the school day was finished, Mickey went to pick up Issei. When they got home, Mickey sat Issei down and said, now Ice, we need to talk. Issei looked at his mother and asked, what about? About your future, the mother replied, I am sending you away to train so you can get used to your new strength and power, but don't worry about schooling, you are going to be homeschooled until you are 15. If you think that it is best, then okay, Issei said in a sad tone, as he didn't want to leave his mother. Hey, no need for that, I will be visiting for your birthday and I will be around for Christmas and every change I can get for that, I promise you, said Mickey, trying to cheer up her son, and it did work. Now let's go and get you packed. When they was up the stairs and packing, when Issei remembered something, then looked at his mother and said, hey mum, what is going to happen to Office when I am training? Why, she will be with you, as she asked me about it and is already there, replied the mother. A couple of hours they are in the countryside in front of a big dojo when Mickey walked up to the front door and pushed it open, then with Issei went to the living room where they met a big old who appeared to be waiting for them when all of them sat down with Issei trying to hide behind his mother. The old man noticed this and said in a grandfatherly voice, now young one, no need to be scared of me, I wouldn't harm you outside of training that is. Mickey noticed he didn't calm down now. Issei, let me introduce the master of this dojo, Hayato Furinji, my father. This calmed down Issei a little, looked at the old man and said, are you really my grandfather? Yes, I am here, have a sweet, Hayato said as he gave his grandson a sweet, then spoke again, now do you know why you are here? Yes, to train so I can use powers and weapons that I got from the 7 deadly sins, Issei replied. Why, you what a smart little boy, have another piece of candy said the old man, but do you know here? When Issei shook his head, Mickey said there are a couple of reasons, but the main one is I trust nobody more than my father. Flashback. There was only one place that trusted, so she went to the phone and rung someone. After it rings a couple of times, someone answered in an old voice, hello, how may I help you? Mickey, who was nervous, took a deep breath, then said, hello, my name is Mickey, and I need your help, father. Now this is a surprise, how are you doing, Mickey? Hayato said in a joyful and surprised tone. I have been good considering, Mickey said in a downcast tone. When she said that in the tone, she hoped that he didn't catch the tone. What happened, said Hayato as he had catch the tone she had used. He was right, dad, was all she said, and he knew what had happened. Goro was a bastard, he left us 4 years with a younger woman, and we are not doing well financial wise either, as he left us with no money. Then why haven't you called and asked for some money, and what is this wee stuff, asked Hayato. Well, that is the reason I had phoned you, you see I have a 5-year-old son, and he had recently came into something that I will not go into over the phone, so I phoned you to let you know that I am dropping round, Mickey explained. Okay, see you in a bit, sweetie, Hayato said, and the hang up. So, what are you doing, Mickey asked Office. I am going to see my father and ask if he could train Issei, Mickey told Office. Do you mind if I tag along, Office asked. I don't mind, Mickey said. About an hour later, Mickey was in front of her childhood home, the Ryazenpaku. She took a deep breath and entered, then went to the main room where there was 6 people waiting. Hayato said, ah, Mickey, it is so nice to see you again. Same as well, and to all of you as well, Mickey said. Now then, let's get down to business, shall we? After getting a nod from the 6 masters, she explained everything that Meliodas told her, and that is why I need the 6 of you to train my son. We will do it, but you hadn't answered my question, why hadn't you called and let me know about you problems, Hayato asked. Mickey looked unsure about the answer. I don't know, my best guess might be I didn't want to hear I told you so, or might be I felt like I let you down somehow, then looked down ashamed. Do you mind giving us a little privacy, Hayato asked the other masters, who all got up and left, then moved in front of Mickey and gently grabbed and lifted up so they was looking into each other's eyes, then said, honey, you haven't let me down, it is true that I tried to warn you, but you stuck to your guns and told me where to go just like your mother did, and remember this, no matter what happens, I will always be proud of you. That was all that was need to be said before Mickey launched herself into the loving embrace of her father and cried. After 20 minutes before Mickey calmed down and the other masters talked about a plan, as long as they don't wake him up at an ungodly hour, so any time before 6:30 and in bed at a reasonable time, so no later than 8:30, and have the weekend off to be a kid, all was good, that is until his teenage years. Then there was a bit of small talk. Office was introduced, and so was Al, of the masters. End of flashback. So now you know that your mother know that this place is the best chance for you, and we will not start you training till Monday, so we can see what we are dealing with. How does that sound? Hayato said. Sounds good to me, Grandpa said, an excited Issei. A few hours later, Issei and Mickey said their goodbyes so Issei can get ready to train. It has been 10 years since Issei and Office started to train at the Ryazenpaku dojo. Now normally he would be training, but he is packing along with Office as they are moving back into his mother. As per the arrangement, he still has brown hair, but since the day he saved Office his eyes have been changing colors by the day from green, purple, red, brownish orange, amber, gold, and blue. No one know just why that is, not even Akasum, and he is known as the medic demon. Out at the main gate, Issei was putting the cases into a pulling cart with the masters of the Ryazenpaku dojo. Once everything was packed in a cart, Hayato then went up to Issei and said, now be good to your mother, you hear, and also make sure to keep up with your. Are you kidding me, Grandpa? I still want to try and beat you and everyone else without them holding anything back and win far and square, Issei says then in a joking voice. If anything, I will increase the intensity, which got a laugh from most of the masters, then walks up to the other masters. Issei has goodbyes. He first walks up to the first one, which was Akasum, and says thanks the schooling and the lessons on jujitsu and in medics. It was a pleasure teaching you, came Akasum reply, then they shook hands. Then Issei walks up to the Apachai, then says thanks for the lesson in Muay Thai. Apachai. Before he could get away, Apachai brought him into a hug, crying and mumbling, Apachai is going, Miss Issei, what will Apachai do now? Issei says to Apachai, can you please put me down? Don't worry, you can come and visit as long as you let me know first, and I will be coming back as I will need to test my strength out and to see you guys. Then walks up to the Kensei, then says thanks for the lesson in Kenpo Kensei. Issei then replies, not a problem, as you ever get a girlfriend let me know first, okay? Like hell I will, you will probably be the reason she dumps me. Issei the shout, swinging Karakhouse trying to hit him, but he got away. A perfect example why they call him Kensei the Slick. After he calms down, he walks over to Shigeru and says, you were the biggest help there was as you helped me master the weapons I got from the 7 deadly sins. Shigeru then said it was no problem, then did something that shocked everyone and irritated Office, and that was she kissed him on the lips. Once she realized what she was doing, she cut the kiss, then jumped over the wall while blushing. Issei, not knowing what to do, said, well, that just happened, can someone please let Shigeru know that I would be back next weekend so we can talk. Get a nod from everyone, then walk up to Shio. Thanks all those karate lessons, Shio. No problem, kid. Then shook hands. Then Issei started to walk to the cart. He grabbed the rope and said, see you next weekend, then turned to Office and asked, you ready to go? Which nods. Then Issei pulls the cart. A couple hours later the duo was back at Issei's home. He knocked and Miki answered the door to see who it was. When she saw it was Issei, she flung the door open and pulled him into a hug, then went to Office and gave her a hug, then went to help the teens empty the cart. Once the cart was empty, the trio sat in the living room and had small chat like how they have been. But now, which involved a bit of teasing Issei when Office told Miki what Shigeru did, and both of them will starting school on Monday. The weekend passed with nothing happening apart from Issei and Office sorting out their rooms, and on Monday Issei and Office got dressed in their school uniform and went to school. When they got to school, they asked a girl with crimson hair where the office was. When the girl gave them the directions to the office, they said thanks, then went off just when they were out of sight. The crimson-haired girl as Riaz looked and saw her friend. Hey Akeno, do you know who those two people was? As Riaz asked. Sorry, but I don't know, but there was a rumor going around last week about we are getting 2 transfer students, so I guess that was them, Akeno said. Then in a teasing voice, says, why did the Crimson Princess find the boy cute? No, just curious, as both of them don't seem normal, so I will try and get Sona to find out what came. Riaz reply. Back with Issei and Office, who was heading to the office when Issei says, so that is Surzich's little sister, she seems nice. What do you think? Office is. I think you are a pervert, Office replied. Well, that may be true, but you know the two to blame, Issei joked. Yes, but one of them I can't kill without killing you, and the other one is a little weasel, Office says in an irritated tone, as all the time she's tried and killed Kinsama for peeking on her. That may be true, but at least there was never a dull moment at Ryaz and Paku, so imagine what would happen as we took Riaz and her peerage to see Grandpa, Issei said before laughing and gaining a chuckle from Office. When they made it to the office they got their schedules and found they had the same classes. On the way out, Issei accidentally walked into someone. When he looked up, he saw a girl with white hair, then says, I am so sorry, what is your name? My name is Kaneko Taoju, and it is alright as part of it is my fault for carrying too much, and who are the both of you, said Kaneko. My name is Issei Haidu, and this here is Office Ouroboros, he says, well pointing at Office here, let me help you, and both Issei and Office starts, helps the girl pick up the papers, then take them to the old school building. Once inside they placed the paperwork on the desk, then headed to homeroom. When the bell for homeroom went, Issei and Office waited outside till being called in. They heard the teacher say, now class, before we begin we have 2 new transfer students joining us from today, so please make them feel welcome. You can come in now. The teacher then waits until both had stopped and faced the class before continuing, now class, these 2 here are Issei and Office's. The teacher then looks at the duo and says, why don't you 2 introduce yourself? Issei went first and said, hey, my name is Issei Haidu, and for the last 10 years I have been homeschooled because of reasons I will not tell. Once Issei was done, Office went next by saying, greetings, I am Office Ouroboros, I look forward to this classes. The day to lunch was mostly uneventful due to Mitsuda and Motohama, or more commonly known as the perverted duo, tried and get date out of her, but got turned down. When the door opened only to revile Kaneko, she saw Issei and Office, then walked up to them and asked, do you mind joining me for lunch? Which surprised everyone. Sure, I don't mind. What about you, Office? Issei says. I don't mind either, Office replied, then said, as it is a nice day let's eat outside, who both agreed. Then Kaneko then led them to her favorite spot, which was just outside the old school building. Meanwhile inside the building we find Riaz playing chess. Sona, when Riaz asks, so Sona, what have you find out about the 2 new transfers? Well, the girl was quite easy, she is the Ouroboros dragon, Office, but the boy was quite hard. All I could find on him was his name and where he lived, so I sent word home, and Lust received word that because he is such an unknown, he could be a problem one day, so they want us to take him out as soon as possible. Shame as he is quite cute and that it seems Kaneko has taken a liking to them, so might as well get him here after school, Ria said. She then went down to the trio. Once she was there, she asked, hey Issei, right, gaining a nod, do you mind coming over after? I want to ask you something. Sure, I don't mind, Issei replied, but what about offices? Bring her along as well, Ria's replied, then looked at Kaneko, then said, we have a meeting now. Okay, see you two later. Kaneko then walks into the building. Once Ria saw all of her peerages come, she say, we have a new target. Really, who is it? Asked a blonde. Well, that is the sad part, Kiba, as it is Issei and offices, replied Rias. But why is Issei and office being attacked, demanded Kaneko, which got everyone surprised. It is because Office is the Ouroboros dragon, and the rumor is that she started the terrorist group known as the Cows Brigade, and as for Issei, the underworld doesn't know anything about him, but they can tell that he is strong, so he doesn't become a threat. They want us to take him out. I am sorry. But we have to do this, Kaneko, Rias said. The rest of the school day was also uneventful, so Issei and Office was heading towards the old school building when all of a sudden lightning strikes, but it just missed them, then heard, oh darn, and I was so close to. They looked and saw Keno. So is this some kind of initiation test to get into you club, or do you want kill us? Because I am hoping it is the former and not the latter, Issei says. Then Office smacks him and says, you moron, you cannot die. But before he could say anything, he was punched. He looked and saw it was Kaneko, and she had a look that said, I don't want to do this, and quickly dodged another lightning struck from Akeno and was about to get hit square on by a big fireball that was crimson and black, and he quickly grabbed a large twig that was then said full counter and swing the twig, which caused the ball to do a 180 and doubled in size, starting to head back to Ria's, but before it Issei got to her and picked her up bridal style and dropped her a few feet away from the explosion, then went but dodge a punch by. Kaneko grabbed her waist, then throw her onto Ria's. Before he could do anything else, his heart was run thought with a sword, and him being some kind of joker played dead. He could see Office was not fazed by him getting stabbed and Kaneko crying and being comforted by Ria's. Once the sword was removed, he played dead a little longer. It was when Akeno and Kiba was moving towards Office when he sat up and asked, so any reason why you are trying to kill me? Because I do believe that we met today, so I am drawing up a blank as to why, unless you are some of the family members of some of the devils that I had slain or nobles that had lost their noble statuses. How do you know what we are, and how are you still alive? Akeno asked, whole shocked that Issei was still alive after. Simple, helped my masters do a few jobs for all the faction, and as for me being alive, that is really simple, replied Issei. And what is that? Kiba asked. The secret, Issei replied before continuing, can we go home now? My mom might start to worry about me. Before anyone could object, he took off his shirt and walked to pick up his bag, then walk over to Kaneko and said, I don't hold this against you, then patted her on her head, then turned to Office and asked, you ready? Which got a nod, then started to walk out of the school when he stopped and turned and held something and said, because you tried to kill me, I will be keeping these as compensation. And what he was holding up was 3 pairs of underwear. One was a red-laced pair, the second one was black thongs, and the last one was plain white that had little cats' faces and paws on it, which got a blush from Ria's, Akeno and Kaneko, then headed home. Meanwhile, back with Ria's and her group, everybody was in shock that Issei wasn't even fazed that they had tried and kill him. Then not too far from them, a crimson magic circle and a male came, though it then the male said, guess, I'm too late, which got the attention of everyone. Hi brother, what do you mean you're too late? Ria's asked. Well, I came to tell you that kill order on one Issei Haidu was not put through the proper channels, replied Ria's brother. Kaneko stepped forward, then asked, wait Surziches, you mean to tell me I mean us that someone want to get rid of Issei? To put it simply, yes, as Surziches replied before continuing, you see Issei is not your ordinary boy, he has been training for the past 10 years by some very capable humans who we asked to do some hunter work for us, and as so they have immunity from the factions to some extent, but they have some condition, one of which they do not take a life if an innocent or if their actions are just and noble, and so they were bound to make some enemies. Now I am also here to give him his first solo mission that did not require him to tag along with his masters. Then he summoned a magic circle and disappeared. Rias looked at her peerage and, well, I don't know about you, but I am going to go to Issei's house and apologies and also see if I can get my panties back, which gained a nod from Kaneko and Akeno. Kiba said, okay, think I will apologies tomorrow as I did stab him in the heart, so I will see you later, then went home, while the girls went to the Haidu residence. When they see Surziches leaving, he waved and summoned another circle to go home. Then the girls knocked on the door. They were met with Issei's mother. When she saw who it was, she said, hello, and how may I help you? Rias replied, we are here to see Issei and Office. There was a misunderstanding at school and we came to apologies for it. Oh, so you are the ones that tried to kill my son and his little one of his girlfriends, and my name is Mickey, asked Mickey. But the head hung low. Kaneko replied, yes, that would be us plus one more, but he stayed behind and will apologies tomorrow. He is in the garden after he has done what he need to do. You three will tell me which of the factions you belong to, and I will get Issei to tell you a little about him. Deal with that, said Mickey. He showed the girls, who was in shock as to how Issei's mother know they wasn't human, to the garden. When they got to the garden, they saw Issei already had company of 3 males and 2 females. One of the males had silver hair and blue eyes and wearing a green V-shirt with a high collar leather jacket and burgundy jeans. The second one had blonde hair with a strand going across his face and blue eyes and was wearing a business suit, and the last male had brown hair and brown eyes and was wearing ancient Chinese armor. One of the females had blonde hair and blue eyes and was wearing a sorceress-like dress with huge blue hat that had black bow and yellow stars and a matching cape with flowers and a white interior. The last female they know all too well had black hair and hazel gold eyes and was wearing a black kimono with a red interior with a yellow obi and a set of golden beads and a headband. This was Kuroka. Thinking that Issei was in trouble, the girls rushed out to help Issei and started to fight the group of 5. This went on for a couple of minutes before Issei had enough and shouted enough, but the fighting didn't stop, so he turned to Office and asked so which way would be better to stop the fighting. Perfect cube, physical hunter, manipulate the earth. Before Office could say anything, someone said, I think you should use physical hunt. Issei they looked to see his mother with 10 glasses of milkshake, and I have always wanted to see that in action since Meliodas told me about it, and Office agreed. Okay, one physical hunt coming up, Issei said as he get closer to the fighting, and when he was closer, he put one arm out and said physical hunt. Then all the fighters all collapsed at the same time as Issei's muscles grow. Kuroka, who was pissed, shouted, volley, you bastard, if you are going to use divine divide, you fucking don't use it on your allies. The blonde male said, I don't think that it was volley Kuroka, because in order to use divine divide, he needs to touch someone, so it must be someone else. You got that right, Issei said. Now I am going to conduct my business, then I will return your strength, then I will explain everything, then walked over to Kuroka, then placed his hands on her head, then a strand of pale blue light came out, and then Kuroka stopped. Inside Kuroka's mind we find Issei looking through Kuroka's memories in order to find out why she did, and when he did, he understood why she killed her master, then he exited her mind. In the real world, the light coming out of Issei's hands disappeared, then everyone had got their strength back, then everyone sat up, then Issei said, now that you have your strength back, are you going listen, or am I going to have to take it away again? Rhea said, okay, you win. Okay, then have a seat and I will explain why Kuroka is here. Issei began. Flashback 10 minutes ago. Issei was in the garden with Office when a red circle appeared, followed by Surziches, who said, he Issei, and to you to Office. First of all, I just wanted to apologize for the misunderstanding with my sister. The order to kill you was not properly ordered, and secondly, I want you to do a mission, and before you say anything, I got permission from your grandfather. Okay, I will do it. What do I have to do? Issei said. I want you to find out and eliminate Kuroka. Surziches asks. That's fine, but you know, Surziches, that if there was a good reason why she did it, Issei will not do it, Office stated. Yes, I am aware of that, Surziches replied. Then hand Issei a piece of paper with a summoning circle. Now, after you find you why she did what she did, or kill her, use the summoning circle. Then Surziches went out of the front door while Issei was preforming a summoning spell of his own to summon Kuroka, but he got 5 people, included Kuroka. He started to explain when Rias, Akeno and Kaneko interrupted. End of flashback. Now there you have it, Issei said, you are now free, as long as you don't do anything stupid. Kuroka. Wait, what do you mean she is now free? She killed her master, Rias said. Just as I said, she is free, as I will place her under my protection, Issei stated before continuing. And do you even know why she killed her master in the first place? I am sure you believe it was because she became drunk on her own power, but that is a lie. She did it to protect her only family. She had left as her asshole of a master was planning to do some test on her younger sister, shocking everyone but mostly Kaneko. So, you put me through hell because you killed your master in order to protect me? Kaneko asked. Kuroka, who couldn't look Kaneko in the eyes, said, it was never my intention for that to happen to you. I didn't think that my crime will be placed onto you, and that will be a regret, but how did you know why I did what I did? Simple, I looked through your memories, and before you ask, I only looked at the necessary memories, Issei said before continuing, and one of my magical ability known as invasion, and it allow me to enter someone's mind, and if I wanted to, I can manipulate someone memories and soul. Then took out the summoning circle to summon whoever was on the other end, which turned out to be Grafia, who walked up to Issei and gave him a kiss on the lips, which shocked the girls. When Grafia looked and saw Kuroka alive, then said, so what did you find out? After a couple of minutes of explaining, when he was done, Grafia said, and so you plan on placing Kuroka under your protection, which got a nod. Okay, then I will go and report back to Surziches. Then she summoned a circle, then went back home to report. Rias, who was the first one out of being shocked, asked what was that all about and why did Grafia kiss you? Okay, I will tell you everything if you give me a chance, Issei said. Issei had lead Rias, Okeno Kiba Kaneko, and the group that he had summoned to the lounge, and everyone had taken a seat. Then Issei said, okay, what would you like to know first? Before anyone could say anything, Kaneko said, how did you do all that stuff at school and just now, and do you have any other abilities? Issei looked like he had to think of how to explain it before saying, the stuff I was able to do is because of something that had happened 10 years after an incident when I met Office. I almost ended up killed by some devils, but I ended up meeting the 7 deadly sins that were in my soul, and Meliodas with my permission took over my body and killed the devils, took me home, brought Office with him, and as for other abilities I have, that will be as surprises for a later date, which got a cute little pout from Kaneko and Kuroka. Before anyone could ask, Ria said, what was all that with Grafia, as up until a few years ago I know her as a sister-in-law. Then my brother announced that Grafia was not his wife, it was a ploy as his real wife was sick. The Grimory elders who hate anything that might make the Grimory look weak, they were furious when they'd done a little digging around and found out that she was too weak for their standard. They tried and split them apart, but Surziches put a stop to it by getting the only group of humans that even we devils are afraid of involved, and that is the masters of Ryaz and Paku. Issei, not looking shocked about the whole splitting up Surziches and Suzuka, said, why am I not surprised about the old morons butting in about the whole affair, about with Lisbeth. With that comment, everyone but Office and Mickey surprised. The later two know that he knows a lot about the supernatural world and was friends with some of the big time names. Issei began again, anyway, it was my first mission that my masters let me go on supervised. Flashback. Issei is 13 and Office looking 13, and they are in the Ryazan Paku dojo. It was about noon, and he was learning with Akasum when Apachai came to, and Akasum saw Apachai, turned and said, hello Apachai, how may I help you? Old man Hayato sent Apachai to get Issei, replied Apachai. Well, is Hayato wants him, said Akasum before turning to Issei and says, Issei, your grandfather wants you, so go with Apachai to him. Okay master, said Issei. The follows Apachai to the office where he was talking to a couple of elderly men. Hayato said, okay, so you are giving us a simple elimination mission. One of the elderly men said, yes, this is your target, then hand Hayato a picture of pink hair and red eyes. Her name is Lisbeth and we have received word that she is in Paris's. Okay, you know our fee and you accept the conditions, said the Grandmaster of Ryaz and Paku. Getting irritated, the second man said as he summoned a bag of money and put it on the desk, yes, we know cash up front and no refunds. Are we finished? Hayato, looking over the contract, said, yes, I do believe we are. The two men summoned a magic circle and disappeared. The Hayato turned his attention to his grandson, then said, Issei, so glad you could make it. I am sure you know that there is a mission. Yes, I just got here when you said about the aspect of the mission, so who will I be accompanying on this mission, replied Issei. Good, but you misunderstand, it is you that will be taking the mission with a master as a backup. Should thing get out of your control, the mission you accompanied before was to teach you about the type of dangers we can encounter, which was why we had you on the sidelines for the past 3 years, said Hayato. Okay, I think I get it. So basically all the missions I went on before was to teach me how to hunt and to deal with the ins and outs of the missions, correct, said Issei. That is correct, Issei, and as I have said, you a master will accompany you to give you advice and handle anything that might be too much for you to handle, said Hayato. Issei, understanding the reasons behind it, said to his grandfather, okay, I understand why I went on the missions now, so will be my master tagging along, and when do we leave? The master that will be shadowing you will be Sakaki, and you leave in 10 minutes, okay, Hayato said, asked. Issei, not sure whether or not if it was a question, said that is fine, then went to get Sakaki only to find him waiting. Okay kid, let's go, you have 5 minutes to get what you need, then you are in charge, Sakaki said. Okay master, be right back, Issei said before leaving to say bye to Office and to get a few pairs of clothes. 5 minutes later, both Issei and Sakaki was both at the gate, saying the last of the byes. The Issei used a teleportation spell to take them to Paris. Once they arrived, Issei looked at his master and said, do you know who is in charge of Paris and where to find them? Sakaki took up a thinking post and thought for a couple of minutes and said, I do believe I do, and if I remember, his is a human that goes by the name of Wang Fu, but he is more commonly is known by Master Fu, as he is a guardian of some unique jewelry, but only a handful of people know about them. And he lives this way. Then Sakaki then leads Issei to where Master Fu is. After about an hour walking, they come to a Fu's massage shop and it was closed, so Issei knocked the elderly man wearing a red Hawaiian shirt with a white hibiscus flower pattern and tan capri pants. Then the old man said, hello, how may I help you? If it is for a massage, please come back when we are open and book an appointment. Issei said, we are not here for a massage, we came here to talk to you, so may we come in? Master Fu looked around and saw Sakaki, then know what is happening. Oh, of course, please come in. Then he leads them to his living room, then offers them a drink. I am Wang Fu, but please call me Master Fu, and would either of you two like some tea before we begin? Issei said, please and thank you, Master Fu. Sakaki said, no thanks, got any beer? Master Fu looks at Sakaki and said in a polite tone, "No, I do not, as I am a healer that uses natural herbs. You should know that." Sakaki, even if it has been a long time since we have seen each other, then goes off to make the 3 cups of tea. When he come back, he bring a tray with 3 cups too. Pouring jugs, one contains milk and the other one contains cream, a bowl of sugar and a teapot. He places it on the table, then goes to the other side of the table. The says, "Now Sakaki, what bring the dance street brawler here to Paris? I doubt it is to find love. Well, old man, we are here on a mission and I am here to shadow young Issei here, so we need permission from you, so we don't cause many problems for you. Of course you have my permission, but please don't cause too much trouble, so people won't mistake you for an Akumawi," Master Fu said, and was about to show the 2 males out when a nearby box started to move as if something was trying to get out. Issei looked at the box with wonder while Master Fu was worried as he know that was in the box and went to grab it when it got close to the edge. When the box didn't moving, Master Fu decided to open it in order to see what was moving and found out it was a necklace that looked like a tail-like pendant. Issei, who couldn't contain his curiosity, asked, "Hey Master Fu, what was with the moving box?" Master Fu, seeing that there was no way he could get away with lying to them as Sakaki was a master for a reason, he took a deep breath, then said, "This box is the miracle box, and inside it contains jewels known as miraculous, and they are worn as jewelry, and they have the ability to change the wearers with the help of Quemis into animal-themed super-powered beings, but for one to move on it is unheard of." "Cool, so what are Quemises?" Issei asked. "Well, a part of the ability to help people transform. They are divine sprite-like beings who embody abstract concepts and have an animal-like appearance, like we have a ladybug with the power of creation and the black cat with the power of destruction," Master Fu answered. "Okay, so which of his one is the moving then?" Sakaki said, getting annoyed. "That is the necklace of the fox," Master Fu answered, "and that is the fox with the power of illusions." After a couple minutes, Issei suddenly thought the turn to Master Fu and said, "Hey master, this might be a long shot, but I think that the Kwami might be reacting to one of my sins." Slightly alarmed to what the boy said, Master Fu said in a threatening tone, "What did you do?" Issei, taken aback by the tone that Master Fu had used, then remembered something, then said, "Oh right, I forgot that you don't know. Well, in a completely different universe, there are 5 races, and each and every one has a magical ability. There was a group of 7, each of a different race was the most powerful. They were respected and at the same time feared. They were branded with an animal because of a crime that they had done or had supposed to done. You had Meliodas, the dragon, sin of wrath; Diane, the serpent, sin of envy; King, the grizzly, sin of sloth; Gother, the goat, sin of lust; Merlin, the boar, sin of gluttony; Escanor, the lion, sin of pride; and you have Ban, the fox, sin of greed." Mind if I skip the boring stuff? About 8 years ago, I got into some trouble and found out that all 7 of them lives in me and they gave me everything they had, from power to their titles. Master Fu calmed down after hearing Issei's explanation and said, "Oh, so when you say sin you mean your title, not the actual sin." "That's right, sorry if I made you weary of me," Issei said. After some serious thought, Master Fu opened the miracle box, then gave Issei the fox miraculous in its box, then said, "Then it is decided, you shall be the wearer of the fox miraculous, and if I should pass, I shall get my successor to let you know, and you both shall stay here until your mission is done." Both taken back by the sudden generosity of the old man, Issei said, "Are you sure about this? We don't want to intrude in your home and businesses." "I am sure, and I can teach you all about the Quemis and the miraculouses, and I doubt you have a place to sleep," Master Fu said. Sakaki rubbed the back of this neck and said, "You are right about that. Okay, we will take you up on your offer." And with that done, Issei took the box, they opened it, then there was a ball of golden light came out of the tail pendant, then it circled around Issei twice, then done 2 more little circles, then the light died down to reveal a floating fox with purple eyes, then said, "My name is Trix, and I'm your Kwami." "Nice to meet you, Trix. My name is Issei," said as he put a finger out for the Kwami to shake. The went to put the necklace on. "Okay, time for bed," Master Fu said, then showed the duo where they will be sleeping. Just when Master Fu showed them and gave them his spear blankets and pillows, there was a knock on the door. When Master Fu said it's open, when it opened, it revealed a girl about Issei's age with blue hair and blue eyes, and she was in her pajamas by a red Kwami that resembled a ladybug. The girl said, "Hello, Master Fu." Master Fu said, "Hello, Marinette." Then a flouting jade turtle just appeared, said Marinette, "But you're not supposed to come to Master Fu's place." Master Fu put up a hand and said, "Let her talk ways." Marinette looked at Master Fu, then said, "Master, I used my lucky charm, but strangely I think it was a hint which was telling me to come here in a way." Master Fu said, "I see Marinette taught you all about the miraculous and their powers in order. Yours works in a mysterious way. I think it's trying to tell us you need help this time." He went to grab the miracle box, but was hesitant, then going on to say, "I don't know if it is safe. I already took an enormous risk by putting 2 miraculous into circulation." Marinette, trying to encourage him to it, said, "And you were right to do it, Chat Noir, and I are very careful." Feigning the courage to do it, he goes and gets the miracle box, places it in front of her, he opens the lid, then 12 drawers open on its own, while saying pick an ally you can trust to fight alongside you on this mission, choose wisely, such power are meant to serve the greater good, they must never get into the wrong hands. Marinette said like Hawkmoths. Master Fu then said yes, once the mission is over you must retrieve the miraculous from them, then bring it back to me, until we have unlocked all the secrets of the spell book, it's too dangerous to allow any more miraculous out in the open. For very long Marinette looked deep in thought while staring at the miraculous that is in the miracle box, then said is there anyone you can think of Marinette? Marinette went to grab the comb, then said unfortunately master what we need is the power of illusion. Oh okay then let me get Issei. Then the old man went into the back. A couple of minutes later he returned followed by Issei. Then the old man turned to the boy and said now Issei, I know that I was going to teach you tomorrow, unfortunately there have been a change in plan. You see Marinette here needs you help, so can you give them a hand? Without a moment of hesitation Issei said how can I help? Marinette is going to have to tell you as you go as there is no time, Master Fu said. Marinette said okay Issei, right, my name is Marinette, but when I am in costume I am Ladybug. Okay. That's right, my name is Issei, and it is nice to meet you too Marinette. Now that the small talk is over can we get going, Issei said. Oh, right, come on let's go, Marinette said, then walks out the door with Issei following. Once outside both quickly run into an alleyway, then Marinette said Tiki spots on, then the red kwami was then sucked into her earring, then there was a flash of light, and once it died down, Marinette was wearing a red spandex with black dot with a red mask with black dot and a yo-yo on the waist. And it reminded Issei of a ladybug that remembered what Master Fu told him. Trick sensing what needs to be done flow out of wherever he was hiding up to his face and said you just need to say one thing, Trix let's pounce. Issei then said Trix let's pounce, and the fox kwami was then sucked into the tail-like pendant on the necklace. Then there was a flash of light, and once the lighted light died down, Issei now stood in an orange spandex with a wide underbelly and from his feet to his knees, add hand to his elbows. For black he also has a tail with a white tip. His mask was two colors, the top part was orange and the bottom was white. He also had orange ears with black tips and white inside and a flute on his back. Okay now then first we need is to find Alia as we are dealing with her twin little sisters, and I will tell you more about you powers along the way, Ladybug said as she grabbed her yo-yo that flung it to a building, then pulled herself onto the roof with Issei jumping behind her. After follow Ladybug for 5 minutes they came to a park with a Martiniquan Creole French girl with tan skin shouting persuading 6 red little demons wearing kids hats who was on a merry-go-round. Listen, we can renegotiate the amusement park idea if you want, Kay, but first I need you to chill out and come back home with me. Then Ladybug jumped front of the girl, then grabbed her yo-yo, swung it round one of the pole, then yanked it to make the merry-go-round stop abruptly, causing all 6 of the demon-like being fly of the Ladybug, used her yo-yo to break the hats and all 6 red creatures disappeared. Then the girl with tan skin said Ladybug, my sisters have been acclimatized, I need to find them and bring them back home. Ladybug turning to the girl and said there is a way for you to find your sisters Alia, but we need your help. You interested? Me help you superheroes? You bet I am, just wait till I tell Marinette about this, said Alia as she go to grabs her phone. Ladybug quickly places a hand on the phone and says hang on now, this has to be a secret, not a word to your friends or on the Ladyblog. Taken aback by the sudden request Alia said oh right, understood. Okay now alright, I didn't ask her give you a name, Ladybug said to Issei. Oh you are right, I don't have a name, Issei said, who t few minutes to think of a name. I have got it, call me Ban. Really, is that the best you can come up with, said a disappointed Alia. How about I tell you why I think it is a good name while we follow Ladybug, said Ban. Okay, said Alia. Then Ban gets down on one knee and put his back to Alia and says okay Alia hop on, and once he has Alia secured on his back he turned to the girl in red, then said okay Red ready when you are. Then Ladybug used her yo-yo to got on top of the roof with Ban following behind her, then said so do either of two know about the concept of the multiverse? Yes, the idea is that there are an infinite number of universes, some like our own and others are nothing like ours, but so far has been no proof that the concept is real, said Alia. Well, that concept is real as inside my soul. There are 7 beings that come from a different universe, and they come from a land where it is still the Middle Ages, but what they don't have in tech, they make up for magic abilities. Cool, so who are the 7 beings that are in your soul and what are these magical abilities, said Ladybug. They are the 7 of the most powerful people you will ever know. You have Meliodas the dragon, sin of wrath, Diane the serpent, sin of envy, King the grizzly, sin of sloth, Gother the goat, sin of lust, Merlin the boar, sin of gluttony, Escanor the lion, sin of pride, and you have Ban the fox, sin of greed, and they each have that animal somewhere on their bodies in crimson. Then he saw a blonde guy in a skin-tight leather suit designed and a black cat, the said hair is that your partner just as a bunch of the little red demons dogpiled him and one seemed to get something. Ladybug said in an alarmed tone yes that's Chat Noir, then thought the yo-yo around the dog pile Chat, then snapped the hats freeing him, then she jumped down. Ban jumped at a different way to put Alia in a safe location, then jumped in to join the fight and used his flute to break some of hats, as well as his hands and feet, then said cool, not the typical race 1 fight, but it is still cool and took out the rest of Sapatus. As Chat Noir got up and saw that Ladybug had brought company then said cool, who is this superhero friend of yours no offense I thought I was the only one. Ladybug the said Chat Noir I would like you to meet Ban. Chat Noir then walked up to Ban and said well sneaky fox think you'll be sneaky as a cat. I prefer greedy fox thanks said Ban as he rang Chat's bell. He turns to Ladybug and says your friend seems pretty good. Ladybug then tells him I have only been friends with him for the past hour or so. Chat Noir was taken aback by the comment but shrugs it off to put his hand out ad says welcome to the team, if you need any superhero tips, you know where to come. Ban taking the hand gesture said yes to my master and I am only here because I am on a mission and I ended up on here be complete coincidence and once my mission is done, I am have to go back Japan, but as for the miraculous part do you have Ladybug number? Oh that is a shame because you might have been a lot of fun replied Chat Noir. All of a sudden there was what looked like hundreds of them, then Ladybug said we are retreating they all three jumped on top of a nearby which happens to have Alia on it. Chat Noir then said there must be thousands of them. Ladybug then shouted Lucky Charm, then throw her yo-yo up, then a unicycle came down and fell into Ladybug's hand. Chat said a unicycle Ladybug then starting to look around for how to use it, then the chat continue whenever you're ready Melody, then he and Ban went and take out the Sapatus that had got to the roof while Ladybug collected the stuff she needed. Once Ladybug was done, she placed it all in a wheelie bin, then Ban grabbed Alia as Chat used his pole as a bridge, then the 3 superheroes run across it and once on the other side, Chat withdrew the pole. Once all the prep work was done Ladybug went cycling around announcing an amusement park, then Ban blow his flute and the tip began to glow, then he flung it and said Mirage that there was a really fun amusement park illusion, all the Sapatus started running towards it then. Alia this said awesome. There was a bleeping noise coming from Ban's pendant and said to Chat what does that mean? That mean you have about 5 minutes left before you change back replied Chat. Oh is that all said Ban in a non-caring voice. The Ladybug drive the guide bike into an alley with all the Sapatus following her, then Chat jumped down and jammed the makeshift device in the wall, so that his can take the hats, then said your turn Ladybug, then Ladybug made the device turn and it was catching the hat, then flinging them into the wheelie bin once all the hats was collected the illusion faded, then Chat said cataclysm and destroyed the bin along with the hats, which in turn caused all the Sapatus but 2 to disappear and the last 2 turned back into human and a black butterfly came out of the pile of ash. Then Ladybug did something with her yo-yo and caught the butterfly while saying no more evil doing for you little Akuma time to devilized, got ya, bye bye little butterfly she throw part of the unicycle, then everything went back to normal. The 3 heroes plus Alia went to the twins, then Alia run up to them and gave each of them a big hug, they went to walk home with Chat following, to make sure they get home safely, and they didn't get far when last of the light in Issei's necklace and the transformation dropped in Marinette's as. Well and Marinette sees the crimson animals that then said you know you are not supposed to tell people anything about anything that can identify you in civilian form right? And what if people figure out who I am Issei said. Well for starters they can go after you friends and family Marinette said. Issei said in a pride tone not to be rude here Marinette, but the only people that would do that are people who have a death wish as my only friend at the moment is a dragon, my family owns the dojo called Ryazanpaku, and if they do manage to capture me and have a mind-reading device or spell. They have the 7 deadly sins to deal with, so I am not worried. Okay look I am meeting my friends tomorrow and I was wondering if you would like to join us as Marinette asked. Sure, but only if it is okay Issei said. Okay be ready at 9 okay Marinette said, just as they got to Marinette's home. Then Issei went back to Master Fu's place. The next morning. Issei was waiting for Marinette when Sakaki said I don't like this kid we are on a mission remember. Yes I remember but I was thinking that what is Marinette's friend had seen her and I will be getting used to be making my way around Paris because I am sure that I will be coming back here and next time it might not be with a master Issei reasoned. Okay you got me there so well you do that I will be doing my own investigation Sakaki said then was about to talk out though when there was a knock at the door Sakaki answered is and saw a girl with blue hair and eyes then said who are you girl? Oh, my name is Marinette and I was wondering if Issei was still here asked Marinette. Sakaki smiled then shouted hey Issei your girlfriend's here. I sure hope when you say that you mean a girl who is a friend and not romantically involved Issei said walking out to meet Marinette then go on to say shall we go? Of course Marinette said then she too Issei to the park from last night where she was going to meet her friends then she introduced them go to skip doing the introductions. Then the one named Alik said so where are you from? Issei replied I am from Japan. So why have you come to Paris's, asked the one named Max. I am here on business, Issei said, stretching a little, but revealed a little bit of a crimson mark. Lillian spots it as asks, hey Issei, what that mark on your hip? Oh, this, and reveals it to be a crimson fox. I have no idea, I have 6 others somewhere on my body. I like to think that it represents one of the 7 deadly sins, and that is the sin of greed, so I have named it the fox sin of greed, Issei said in a joking manner, but there was only 2 people who recognized that line. Alia said to Marinette, mind if I borrow your now friend Mary, but didn't give Marinette the chance to reply when she started to drag him away once they were out of sight. Alia turned her attention to Issei, and I know who you are, Issei, or should I call you Ban? Issei will do, out of suit now. I did say that because I know you would have recognized it, and from what Marinette said you are one hell of a reporter. Now do you know how this lady is, as I have been sent here to make sure she isn't a threat, Issei said. They showed her a picture of Lisbeth. Yes, I know here, so does Marinette. She is a part-timer that works at Marinette's parents' bakery. Let me get her over here, then texts Marinette to come over. When Marinette came over she said, so Alia, what is the problem? And Alia just give her the picture. Then before Marinette continues, why do you have a picture of Suzuka, Issei? That is rather difficult to explain, but let's just say this is the business, so can you please take me to meet her? Marinette agreed, then told the group that there was an emergency at home, then took Issei with her, and wanting to be there for their friend, so Alia, Nino and Adrian followed them to the bakery. Once Alia, Nino and Adrian got the bakery, Tom let them up just as Issei started to talk. Look Lisbeth, there is no other was to say it, but I am a student at Ryazenpaku. The moment he said that she tried and get away from him, but in doing so revealed that she had a set of bat-like wing, but Issei just flouted over quickly, then put his hand over her temples. That he went into her mind in order to see what she is up to, and found out that the 2 men was lying to them, so once he got out, he quickly used the most powerful healing spell he know to heal her, then placed her on the sofa, then starts to search her for something. The shouts to the door, you 3 can come in now. Okay, I know that she is started a few weeks back, but what is she? Asked Adrian. Okay, you know all the myths and legends like the Greek, Norse gods, also angels, fallen angels, and the devils, Issei said, which gained a nod from all 4 of them. Well, to simple put, they are all real, and Lisbeth is a devil that my client wants me to eliminate, but at my home, the Ryazenpaku, we do not kill the innocent, we only kill those that warrant death. What, you expect us to believe you that all the monsters that we thought was only myths are real? Nino asked. Is it really that strange that the myths are real when your city is attacked by Akumas? After all, you 2 friends hold the yin and the yang Kwamas, so they are destined to be together, Issei said absent-mindedly. All 4 of them said what? Adrian said, so all this time the person I have been chasing after has been sitting behind me and liked. At the same time Marinette was saying, so all this time the person I have a crush on has been my partner. Issei saw that Nino and Alia didn't seem surprised. They said, judging by your reactions you 2 either known or suspected. And Nino said, well, it is more of here than me, she just tells me some time, but how did you know straight away? Magic is a powerful thing and it can slightly or drastically change our perspective, Issei explained. Then find what he is looking for, the activates it, then throws it on the floor, then sees a 20-something looking devil. Once the devil saw Lisbeth on the sofa, and 5 early teens, then says, greeting, I am Graphia, and what happened here? Issei walks up and says, greeting to you to Graphia, I am Issei, and as to what had happened, well, you have to promise not to attack me while I explain. Okay, I promise not to attack you while you explain, Graphia said. Okay, to put it simple, the 4 behind me just found put that the supernatural world exists, so, and they have their own to solve, so they can go right, which gains a nod from Graphia, so he tells the people behind him, okay, you 4 can go upstairs, as this is my mess, you don't need to get dragged in. Do it and you and Adrian can talk. Then the 4 got up and went upstairs. Then Issei continue, okay, I am from Ryazenpaku, was sent here to eliminate her, then met her, told her where Is was from, she panicked, then used an ability I have only to find out that the clients lied to us, they healed her, then looked for the summoning circle that summoned you, so can you get her husband? Okay, I will be right back, said Graphia as she disappeared in a white circle. Then Marinette and Adrian came down holding hands with Nino and Alia following behind. The Issei said, so are you 2 a couple now? Graphia just went and get her husband. Then there was a red circle, that revealed a red-haired dude and Graphia. Hello, I am Surziches, which one of you is Issei, and why have you summoned me? Surziches asked. Issei stepped forward and said, I am Issei, and the reason I have summoned you is because I want to know why 2 old men with red hair wants your wife dead. Surziches, taken by the request, said it might be because she is too weak to hold the Grimoire name, but they shouldn't know that she is my wife. How did you know that? So let me get this straight, you are letting a bunch of old dudes tell you who is right on who to marry, then you don't deserve to be married to her. To me, this looks like you are shamed that you love her, Issei said, causing the dude to look away, shamed. So here is what I am going to do. First I am Going to tell you is to grow a backbone and a pair of balls, then go and tell your elder where they can shove some of the rules, to give her points to Lisbeth my number, and tell her that if you do something like this again is to give me a call. How does that sound? I think sound like a good idea. Then everyone spent the next half an hour saying goodbye. The Issei left to Master Fu place to let Sakaki know that the clients have lied to then he and Sakaki left to head back home to tell Hayato what had happened. End of flashback. End of the part 1. So how was the story? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this story with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.